After our interviews at ISE, we had some less formal conversations about what was on people's minds and a little crystal ball gazing. In these 4 pieces, we get to hear some really interesting and insightful thoughts about where we may be going next.
My name is Matt Czyzewski. I've been in the industry about 40 years, even though I don't look it. And I've been in the technology side most of my career. It's been a lot of fun. It continues to be fun in terms of all the technology changes. And it never stops. Just walking around the show here, you can see some stuff that's like, whoa, that's cool. So it's, definitely fun. Well, one of the biggest changes to me will be how we emerge in the hybrid workplace. Because so much of, you walk around the show, you see advertisements and so on, so much of the product offering to date has been very corporate. We're all in one place. And pivoting to how we do that differently will continue to be interesting. And while there are some developments here, I think at the show, it's just going to be interesting to see what happens in the next year and a half. Crystal ball right now, I will say, it's never perfect. But I would say it's a bit fuzzier than normal at the moment because of all the worldwide changes, workplace changes and so on. And there are definitely some companies emerging that I would say in the past you wouldn't have considered in our market have now made inroads in that. So, for someone who's been in the industry a long time, it's like you have to pay attention to the disruptors and also continue to be a disruptor. So that's a challenge at this point.
I'm Jeff Hastings. I'm the CEO of BrightSign. I've been running BrightSign now for 14 years. I've got a background in engineering and audio and video engineering, so I've been building audio, video products, software, hardware for about 35 years now. So as I come into this industry, it gives me a view of from a very technical level. Well, so over the last few years, there was a bit of a slowdown in the AV industry, and we're seeing a big uptick. And that uptick really, if you think about what happens just in the world, demand continues, and the industry continues to grow. With a bit of a slowdown, there's a bunch of pent-up demand. So I think we're actually feeling it at this show. We're seeing we're seeing more people than in 2019, and that's kind of pent-up demand. So we're seeing it in our business. We're seeing growth across the industry much higher than normal growth because there's a pent-up demand that's now starting to be consumed that wasn't there before, that was kind of shut down. So I think it's very optimistic for the industry. At the same time, there's a lot of consolidation going on in the industry. And that's a norm as these areas mature, and digital signage is starting to mature a bit more. And as industries mature, you have a lot of little companies that start consolidating because these little companies can't survive. I mean, their economics don't work. As they start pulling together, you see consolidation. You see a lot of the fringe players, and that's how brands really start to become important. And you have less noise. In some way, we see, like at this show, there's less exhibitors in the digital signage, and some people are like, oh my God, that's bad. It's like, no, that's a natural maturation of the market, and we're seeing that across the industry. And we're seeing more specialized, and when you do that, the quality goes up. And I think we're starting to see that in the industry also.
My name is Wayne Driggers. I've been in this industry for around 17 years in different forms and functions. I would say my specialty would be UC, both software and hardware implementations, delivering UC solutions. I think the industry's in a very good place right now. The industry's learned a lot over the past 7 years. Where software codecs came into play, took over some control over what used to be a mechanical function, now is being either switched or changed or manipulated in a software world. That innovation can happen at a much more rapid pace. So this industry's adapted well to that. They've actually been able to find areas where they can add value above and beyond what software is driving and delivering and rapidly innovating. So that fine fit between software, hardware, and how the end customer interacts with those combination of those two ranges in this industry has been an exciting time. Now when you bring in AI into the component, you're actually, again, automating some of the manual manipulation that would take place. So when you look at cameras being able to frame individuals individually, being able to identify the position of someone's face to optimize the camera angle they take of that person that's speaking at that moment in time. When you look at what audio's been able to do through noise cancellation, echo cancellation, identification, the incoming spatial audio capabilities that are going to be driving into the market, you've got a lot of very exciting things that, again, are a combination of both hardware and software. Where we're going is going to be very exciting because it truly is an unknown. As you look at what capabilities and little taste of the new capabilities that we're seeing with the introduction of avatars into some of the interactive and collaborative environments, with the introduction of virtual reality, with the introduction of AI components, with things like very popular AI tools and search engines that are coming in and being brought into the Microsoft ecosystem, there's going to be a lot of new triggers, a lot of new data sources, a lot of new automation capabilities that will begin to offset what we've traditionally done within our own brain power. The ability to have a conversation that is a natural conversation with no distraction of either note-taking or no distraction of positioning a camera or positioning a microphone, no distraction of having to take your attention away from the person that you're having a conversation with, is going to naturally open up so many doors in our industry to really focus on the value that we see and we touch and we feel every day in these types of collaborative environments.
My name is Bryce Buton. I currently work at AJ Video Systems. I've been in this business now close on 40-something years. I think we're at a very interesting time within our business and within just currently where the planet sits. There are a lot of issues to be addressed across very complex items. And we tend to, in the technology business, be innovators. We constantly have to think outside the box. And we endeavor extremely hard to figure out where all the best cross points are. So as new technologies come along, as new possibilities come along, we literally try to build bridges. So it's about unifying people and ideas, not being scared of those that seem new or foreign, and then letting the human creative spirit sort of weave it all together in a really thick tapestry.
Yeah, so I'm Paul Dexter. I've been in the industry since the late 90s, so coming on 25 years as an integrator and then into software support since. So my specialty was designing systems that really fulfill a need for the client. It's funny, in the early 2000s, through the first couple decades almost of the 2000s, I was really frustrated by the infrastructure of the industry. And what I mean by that is I've got friends who are doctors, lawyers, I've got friends who are auto mechanics. Every one of those industries has good infrastructure, meaning tools that talk to each other, databases that work. And in AV, but AV is infinitely more technical than those industries, right? Yet our infrastructure is backwoods. There isn't any. And so I feel that it's coming along, it's coming along. It's a lot of battles because everybody wants to be like the standard when it comes to, AV over IP or this or this or this. So that's fine, that's like beta and VHS. Those things will sort itself out. But still the business infrastructure and the fundamental architecture for everybody to work together, those things are lacking, and they're not lacking in other industries nearly like they are in AV. I have my ideas of how I want to fix it, but I think one thing is it's more people wanting to work together, not apart, right? So, we've been for years talking to some of the biggest manufacturers in the industry. We all know who they are, but the bigger they are, the bigger they want to do things their way. And that's fair. I mean, everybody wants to do things their way, and if they feel we wield all the power, you're going to do it our way, right? We're not going to connect to you, you connect to us, or you don't even get to connect to us. And everybody wants to hold their data, everybody wants to format everything their way, rather than standardizing everything. But there's a lot of threat to that, to the big manufacturers and even to the big integrators, I would imagine. So I get it, I get the pushback, but again, it's not pushback you have in other industries, and maybe because these bigger industries are more controlled, meaning there's more oversight. It may even be governmental, I don't know, but in AV, it's a bit of the Wild West, right? And so I think those things are holding us back. I mean, look, we're an industry that we see it as and it's a $250 billion industry, it's a huge industry, yet it pales in comparison to, to healthcare and to these other industries that have, again, there's nothing right about a lot of those industries either, but there's better infrastructure in place, I believe.